Um, welcome back, everybody. Um, obviously, Aria, Leo, and Eli, if you're watching, hello. To everybody else who's decided to come along on the journey too, welcome. This one we're going to cover today is a request as well, I guess. First of all, thank you so much to how many people have not only subscribed, but also to everybody that's been commenting such great and kind words, and everybody who's made requests. There's a lot of them, and I guess a bit of full disclosure. Looking online, see a lot of people talking about first reactions and stuff like that. I have seen some of the Dimash songs before. This one, for instance, Daybreak, I have seen, but I saw it on The Singer, and I saw that on one of those comments they were explaining that he was not well when he sang that song, which, for one, just kind of phenomenally blew my mind. And I also did not know what the song was about at that time. So this request came through from Ubervocal. I suggest you go and check his channel out. I'll chuck it down the bottom. He posts a lot of good stuff about Dimash as well. But he suggested that I watch this one because it's, I don't know, maybe it's better, I'm not too sure. But we're going to have a look. Again, when you've got children and you're reacting to songs of this kind, especially once you find out what the stories are behind them, I'm a little bit cautious about doing this one. Don't really know how it's going to affect me. But for those of you who don't know, and please, if I'm getting this if I'm getting this story wrong, put it down in the comments. But from my understanding, this song is about a couple that were involved in like a big pile or a car crash of some description, and they had a young child who they held out of the wreckage so that rescuers could get to him, but they died in doing so. Makes me well up a little in the chest just thinking about it, because it's kind of the ultimate sacrifice, right? So I'm watching this with subtitles on so that I can get a good understanding of what the words are. Fantastic song. So sorry for the long lead in, but hey, as per usual, let's go to the intro. So welcome back. We'll just kick straight into it. Please forgive me if I do not hold myself together too well. I will attempt to, though, as much as I can. All right. Bastau. He always looks so fantastic, doesn't he? Oh, was that him prepping to sing the first line?
我听到一声追响，振翅山谷。就是那个秋天，在干枯的河边，它让它的秋天托起我重生的基地，黑暗中泪水闪满了树叶。不要离开，不要伤害。这么作业，留下我贴在陌生的人起点，夜晚为它制造一个美丽的火焰。
Sorry. I didn't do too well. And keeping myself together, I guess. That song is something else. And I mean, again, when you're a parent, these things can happen to you very, very easily. Well, if you're the kind of parent that cares about how your children are going to face the world, right, and what kind of challenges they're going to be facing. When I watched it on The Singer, that song was fantastic, I thought. And then it wasn't until I read the comments and watched the song again that I realised that he did actually look like he was not well. And then I read somewhere else. In fact, I think that it's in the comments for the suggestion video for this, that he took injections to the throat in order to sing this song on the singer. And you wouldn't be able to tell in that performance. If you go and watch that performance, you just can't really tell. But this was better. I mean, the same emotion, same feeling, but just better. Obviously, again, you know, everybody. Well, I talk about the fact that 20% of Dimash is 100% of most people. But when he's at his 100, man, there's no denying how great he is. Aria, Leo, and Eli, I didn't struggle to think about whether or not I would post this particular kind of video online. There's a lot of discussion out there around the idea of what it is to be masculine or what it is to be a man. And for the longest time, there's been this descriptor of a man as being someone who's stoic and quiet and, you know, who gets the job done and doesn't show emotion. And along with that has come a lot of other toxic masculinity traits that have kind of wormed their way in over the years. But Aria, real men are not afraid to show that they have emotion. A real man will talk to you, will communicate. He will do whatever it takes to love you in the way in which you need to be loved. And he will support you. And he will show you who he is inside and out in a way that shows his respect for you and for himself and his dignity. There is nothing wrong with tears. And I do not want you to think otherwise in any way, shape or form. A man crying is a powerful thing, especially if you're talking about a man that holds himself together emotionally and, you know, and in terms of what he needs to do as somebody that possesses what I call the harder qualities. If you ever look back into a lot of older cultures, Māoridom actually, the Māori being the natives of New Zealand where I live, Māoridom, there tends to be quite a bit of confusion over how savage our people were and how warlike our people were. But there's a wonderful story that's told about a time during the land wars, which is when here in New Zealand, my ancestors were being moved off of their lands forcibly by colonists, basically. And there's this kind of story, and I'm sorry, the details, they're just not with me at the moment, but basically they turned up to take the land, and when they arrived, they were greeted with open arms. And there's actually reports of how the men were digging all of the gardens out, and they had, I'm trying not to use naughty words, kind of backpacks that were woven out of flax, and in them were their children. And so they were looking after their children while they were digging the ditches for the gardens. And that to me kind of beautifully encompassed the fact that there was always this concept that kind of exists within humanity about the hard energies and the soft energies. And how basically It doesn't actually matter what your gender is, and I don't know, maybe some people will disagree with me here, and that's actually okay. That's absolutely fine. But you've got this kind of harder energy that's the doing energy. Go out and do this. And these kinds of people typically are really good at things like fixing cars, building, they do energies. And normally these things are just slapped onto men. Hey, men do those things. Women can do it as well. So don't be fooled by that area. But it is a do energy. It's a harder energy. And then you've got these wisdom-based energies, these softer energies. We talk about things like woman's circle. The older concept of behind every great man is a great woman. All of these kinds of things. It's because women were the ones that considered more about what would happen on a people scale, right? But again, it's a soft energy. It's not just women. Men can possess that too. In fact, men do. Men and women possess both of these things. But it's a spectrum, honey. It's a spectrum. Don't let anybody ever tell you, oh, you can't be this or you can't be that. Because in the end, it doesn't matter which one you are. It really doesn't. In the end, it's just recognizing who you are and how you are to express yourself in life. But it's a balance. Because if there's too much of the do, then you lose focus of some of these really important aspects like looking after children, elders, what's needed in order to feed 400 people when they turn up at your whare, which is a house. How do you look after a village? There's an old Māori saying about it takes a village to care for a child. And that concept really is around the idea that yes, the child has parents, but everyone is involved in looking after that child and the health of the community in general. That takes doing energy and it takes wisdom energies. And ultimately, that balance needs to be struck. So if you're a woman that loves to fix cars and go out and do stuff, come on, let's just put to rest the idea that you're a masculine female. You just like to do those things, and they are hard energy things. And if you're a man and you like to stay home and look after children, and again, this has nothing to do with sexual orientation. It doesn't factor itself into this, not for me anyway. There are biological things involved there, sure, but ultimately, no. Look, if you're a guy and you love to stay home and you love to care for things and you don't really get cars and you don't really understand building, and you drop things all the time, but you can hold a baby, like nobody's business, you're a man. You just have these softer energies. That's my take on it anyway. Aria and Leo and Eli, these things apply equally to you boys. We all have to consider these things. I'm sorry for those of you, by all means, like I always kind of try to make it very clear. You can take or leave these videos. You can quit after the reaction if you want. I really want my children to see who I am, how I am, and maybe glean something from that. So if anyone takes offence, I apologise, but I by no means step back. This is just the way that I think. So we'll wrap it up there, eh? I'm pretty certain that we're going to have more of these kinds of things to cover as we journey through not only music, but everything else as well. It's a big call, but we've got a lot of time. I do love you kids. To be completely honest, everybody deserves a bit of love, right? As long as they're not hurting people. So, with that being said, as per usual, guys, please take it easy and we'll see you in the next video, hopefully. Yeah, okay.